From Southern California, welcome to the Unscared Sports Show. It is Wednesday, March 14th. I'm Doug Katona along with my co-host Brian Mackenzie.
Hola.
He'll tell you about his hat later. We've got a big show today. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to go over Open WOD 3 madness. We're going to share our opinions and views on what's been happening and probably tell you some things that we've been observing as coaches that we feel is important for a lot of you to know that are actually competing. Almost 70,000 people have signed up for the Open. Can you believe that number?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It's
a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
It's about as ridiculous as the last couple of days that we've had. And this is actually, we're having a chance to take a deep breath and kind of relax for a change, right?
Right now has been like the most relaxation we've had in, I don't know, 3 days? Yeah.
Our days just kind of blend together anyway. We also have a Power Pack show today. We've been with the Again Faster team for the last 2 days. The elite athletes are in town. They flew in from all over the country. We've had an opportunity to spend some time with them talking about run mechanics and body position and some squatting. And we did some hill running that we'll talk to two of our guests about today. Tell them who's going to be on the show today.
We've got Mr. Dave Lipson, who I believe officially squatted 225 for 30 reps in the fastest time I have ever seen a human being do that. And his wonderful girlfriend, Camille, LeBlanc, Bazinet. Close? I was close. I don't know.
She, as you all know by now, she got 8th overall last year, and she is tearing up the Open right now. We've had a chance to see her move the last couple of days, and what are your observations on her?
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And she's smiling while she's doing it, which is odd.
So we're going to bring them on in just a few minutes, but first we get emails and texts and calls all day asking us about how do I prepare for the Open WODs and what should I do? And I think one of the most ridiculous things that has come out of this is that people are trying to do these workouts twice in a period of 3 or 4 days. What?
Yeah, it's frightening to me of the amount of people that actually are trying to win the Open with the regionals and the games coming, and taking what CrossFit is and throwing it right out the door and just going, nope, I want to go specialize in this week, and then try in hopes of trying to get back to it the next week. And I've got some of the some of my athletes want to go and repeat because they're not exactly happy with their performance, and it's a tough situation to be in. But as a coach and somebody who looks at this from the outside and it really has a global view on what's happening, that's about the dumbest thing that they can do, especially with the high caliber of athletes I am coaching and seeing, and how sore they're getting after these workouts.
Well, it's not just how sore they're getting, but it's almost putting a dent in their training program. So if you're going to do, if Fran popped up twice
in a week, how many people? I bet I don't even think that's ever happened. But I do remember how much complaining happened when I believe there was a 15K run that they posted and a bike in like the same week, and people were livid, and losing it. It was actually, and the 15K run was first piggybacked by a 10K run the week before. So there was like this multiple of running that was occurring, and people were freaking out. And I know that if we had Fran or we had Diane or something occur in the same week, that people would be freaking out. And we're going to see freak out anyway. That's what the games does, and that's what the coaching, that's what the programming does. Is there's always the complaining about, oh, what are they doing programming this? What are they doing programming that? When actually what we're seeing is just, hey, how much capacity you got and how well do you move?
Well, if you're prepared and you've been training well and it pops up, so what? A lot of the top level athletes have basically been, and we've been coaching those athletes to train through the Open WOD. And that's how you have to look at it. It's another day of training, and if you're well prepared and you've been doing things right and your movement and your mechanics are good, you should be able to stick it and do pretty well.
And if you don't, that's just where you're at. Right?
That's why there's 5 workouts.
Why would you want to show up at the regionals and get hammered, right?
Exactly.
But,
So yeah, I think it's, again, everybody's sitting around their computers today and their phones, and they can't wait for, the time to pop up with WOD 4. And hey, look, if you're an athlete out there and you've been training really well, you're just going to look at it as another day of training and go pound it and get yourself ready. I mean, it's this is a marathon, not a sprint, and you have to look at it that way.
Yeah, exactly. No, good point. That's a great point. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint, and we don't need to. I'm just. It scares me with the amount of people, especially going to and seeing a lot of the the competitions before the Open started.
Yeah.
Going and watching a lot of these competitions and what people will do just to finish a workout, and it's almost like this same things occur. Like I've seen the same thing start to occur within CrossFit and what we're doing that we've seen within running. And just going out and just going to do it and not caring about what's going to be the repercussions of multiple workouts or not moving well enough to do this thing.
Well, and I think it was as I said earlier, it was cool to have the Again Faster athletes here the last 2 days with us, because as coaches we look at movement first and skill first, and if you can move well, if you've got good skill in your mechanics, then you can start talking about increasing load and going harder. And I think the athletes that we've seen the last 2 days are really understanding that. So a lot of you that are watching this right now, I think it's important to understand that this view on making this a long-term play. If you're just going to crush yourself in the Open and then you got to come out of it and recover for a couple of days, that's going to be a tall order to try to re-peak again or re-hit that high level during regionals, which are a short time away.
Very short time. Very short time. Yeah.
So I think that, we could talk about that, but we've got special guests. I want to bring them on for sure.
Sure.
Because especially I want to talk to Dave Lipson about his skateboarding event this morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we don't, but we're going to bring it up anyway. So let's welcome to the show Camille and Dave. Come on. As they come on the show, if you've got questions for either, if you have questions for either one of them, we've learned a lot about Dave. He can break dance, he can moonwalk, and he can skateboard. So,
man down.
Way to go, dude.
Man down.
Break shit.
So welcome to the show, you too.
You.
Yeah.
What's up?
So, one of the first things, Dave, I'm going to start with you. You've been in CrossFit a long time, and I had a great conversation with you running yesterday. We were talking about baseball and a lot of different things, but I think what a lot of people would like to know is, what have you been up to? I mean, we've seen your face pop up on video here and there, but here he is. He's
and we
here.
have no hometown because you are a nomad, a bit of a gypsy. But we hear there's rumors you're coming to San Diego.
They're true. Rumors are true. I'm coming back to San Diego. I've been around a little bit in a good way. And in the past couple of years, my life has changed drastically. I've been back coast to coast. Reprioritize things, taking jobs, working for companies, taking jobs, working for myself, working for HQ, doing seminars. Just trying to get to a good spot where I'm happy with a lot of things in my life, and I've been able to lock down a couple. Hopefully, we'll lock down one more. And I spent the past year between Boston and Canada, up with Camille, and now I'm going out to San Diego to work at CrossFit Invictus, and to be part of a new portion of CrossFit Invictus that's hopefully going to open up this fall, and we're both going to be out there. I'm going to be out this April. Cam's going to come out a little later. She's going to be kind of maybe having to go back to school in Canada, but our long-term plan is just to be out there and settle out there, and we love it. I mean, I love America. Okay, it's awesome. The freedoms
versus Canada.
Yeah, I love America. Canada's great, but the freedoms that we enjoy, the beauty of this country, the lifestyle we're able to kind of sustain here, it's untouched, and still California stands that far ahead of all these states in my opinion. You come out here and it's like going to the motherland, and every time I leave, I'm like I feel depressed. I'm like crying every time I leave. So it was an easy conclusion for us both to be like, we got to move out here.
Yeah, and San Diego's a great place. I've been spending a lot of time down there in the La Jolla area, and Chula Vista. We've been out at the training center. We've seen what the all those people are eating. I've hung out at CJ's gym where you're going to be coming down to, and he's building quite a little empire down there
Yep.
of athletes.
He's
which
legit.
is very impressive.
Yeah, we
Very
trained with
impressive.
them and they're amazing.
Yeah.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I mean, coaches are like fish. There's
Yeah.
good fish and there's bad fish.
Yeah.
CJ's a good fish.
Yes.
He's got he's high quality, and
Yeah.
he takes
Yeah,
it
he
to a
is.
new level with every aspect of his.
He's a smart guy,
His
man.
profession,
Yes. Yeah,
professionality, his gym, like the coaching development he does, the attention and energy and passion he puts into his athletes, and you walk in there and you're like, this is a good place. You can just tell it's an awesome environment, and what we want to do is just keep building that up and keep that high quality, CrossFit pumping it out. And
Well, I noticed. I mean, your head seems to be in a really good space, and I think that's really cool. And
fix that.
yeah, that's right. Get that helmet on. Get the Easy Rider.
Now my head
We're
is
waiting
in
for
good
that
space.
to happen.
Yes. My Easy Rider helmet.
And Cammy, we
Dave's sweaty fucking head.
first time we've had a chance to spend some time with you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? And everybody wants to know kind of what's been your approach to the open wads.
I'm feeling very good, I guess. So, my approach for the open wood are basically need to stay away from it as much as you can and focus on the real deal. And so what I've been doing, like you said, like the
Real deal being your real training. Your
like my real training
your
is
weekly
more
program, yeah.
important
Yeah.
than the open right now
Yeah.
because I want to keep focusing on the thing that I need to improve and all of that. And if I focus on the open, I feel like I'm going to be 1 month behind.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping pushing. We still have 5 months before the game. A while, 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't really know how much. So what I've been doing, my approach, so work out like another one, and I need to pass over it when it's over and only learn from it. I could have pushed harder, I should have done this. Okay, fine, that type of wood, how to do it. And another thing is for example, the wood came out on the Wednesday, and I have a specific day that I do it. So if I don't feel good or whatever, that's my problem, and I need to do it there. And on Wednesday, I'm just excited to have my training for the next morning.
Yeah, well, and an athlete in your position and with your caliber, we're really, and a lot of the athletes that I'm coaching as well,
Yeah.
there shouldn't be a problem with qualifying, having that mentality.
Well, I think...
And I think this is where a lot of the problems are occurring,
Yeah.
is where people don't really have those quals, or even if they do and they're just continually repeating these workouts just to be the best in the open,
Yeah.
they may be just setting themselves up, and we're seeing some injuries pop up on some pretty high-level people,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
So some things are getting exposed real quick, with what we're doing, because it's another level this year. I
Yep.
mean, each year it's been like a different
Yeah,
level
it's
that we're
crazy.
getting into.
I think we're going to see a big jump this year.
Yeah.
I mean, we just heard Dave Castro talking about the
Dave
size of the
Castro
open.
rules.
Dave Castro rules.
Like that?
Maybe it's Dave Castro Radio. Who knows,
Who knows?
when that's
It
going to
could
happen.
be.
Dave told me he was at Home Depot the other day, and somebody came up to him and goes, "Hey, you're the guy who owns CrossFit." Of course, he was like, "Yes, I am."
Yes.
I don't know if
Yes.
he said that,
But for the open, I feel there's a difference with an athlete like me that is not supposed to be a problem to qualify, and an athlete that at their home, like the regional or the games for them. So I would say if regionals are the games for you, and you're barely going to make it, well, do the WOD as often as you want to, and if you're 60, I don't think you'll be first in the regional, but you have the experience down there. So
Well, I think your plan is a good plan. I mean, it's been working for you. I think you're 6th overall
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I
You're
think
up
so.
there. I think that's working for you. I mean, because you two are a couple. I mean, do you bounce ideas off one another? How do you kind of interact? Because I've watched you the last couple
Mostly-
of days with advisement and so on. How does that interaction work?
Oh, it's mostly arguing and a lot of love and a lot of angst because I'm highly invested in her and she's highly invested in me, and it's tough to not get emotional because I want her to do so well and she
we have
wants me
to
to
walk
do so
away
well.
when we do it.
Yeah.
I want him to do so good that I just walk away because I get.
Does he give you advice most of the time, or do you give him advice?
We go both
both,
ways, and what I'll do is she'll tell me something, I'll be like, yeah, whatever, screw you, and then secretly when she's not looking, I'm like, damn it, she was right.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
Yeah.
Don't
she's
wanna admit
she's
that.
the same way,
Yeah.
but we have great coaches.
Yeah.
CJ Martin's been coaching us, and although we've been at distance, he's kind of been programming us. We keep a constant line of communication with him. We get to see him. Now we're going to get to see him a lot. And the idea of taking that burden of training off of our hands into somebody else's and just putting that trust into him has allowed us to do our training with confidence. And like the Open, for instance, like I think honestly it's different for different people. If you're training, who friggin' knows who's gonna make the regionals this year? With people doing the WODs 3 times, it kind of fucks up the scoring. Because, like, look at the burpees. Like, if you got 10 more burpees, that could be...
Dude, if you had one more burpee, you jumped on... There were places where you jumped, like, 50 to 75 spots.
But one more snatch,
spots.
snatch of, 120 for the girl.
Yeah.
Like, one snatch compared to one burpee is, like, insane.
Yes.
It's not even near.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, that played a lot.
The cream is always going to rise to the top. The best guys are going to be at the games no matter what happens in the Open. So those people don't really need to worry about doing the Open multiple times. But then there's another population of people who, maybe they do deserve to go to the regionals and maybe they do have to do it multiple times to be able to get there with the way that this vast group of people is constantly pushing that. And they're treating the Open like the games. And that's definitely not good if you're thinking about the games or you're thinking about the regionals as far as programming is concerned. Or like Camille and I are saying, like, just trusting your coach and trusting your programming. But it's going to vary situation to situation. I personally wish that people would just do it once because I feel like that you're never going to get to do a competition workout more than once when it counts.
Yeah.
Okay, so that first time is a good illustration of what the results should be.
I think anybody really agrees with that, but it's just the fact that if you do it and you can either win it or do much better, or hey, I can increase my chances of qualifying, where we're seeing that stuff.
Well, I think everybody wants to see where they stack up.
But to my point, if we've got high level athletes, right, that we're coaching right now for the games, and if they're repeating these things, and I've got all my kids were sore from this workout, all of them, okay, they were all tweaked. So going and doing it again would only increase that whole thing, which would mean we go into a recovery cycle instead of a training cycle.
Yeah.
And we're not moving in this linear fashion we're trying to get to.
Well, not even if you do it a second time and you do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Is that really a positive move for your training?
Yeah, like how does that change the spots? Are you moving from 5th to 3rd, or does it really not matter whether you finish 5th or 59th? Right. Forgot what I was going to say.
I apologize.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Talking about
Put them down.
Let's talk about something.
Well, so I mean, I think those are all really.
Something else.
I think those are good points. I mean, I think you last year. You were an 8th and you were strong, and you've been telling us the last couple of days some of the changes that you've made. Yep. Tell us a little bit about what you thought your weaknesses were this year, and have you addressed those, and how do you feel with that now? Are you are you focusing on something else now that you think you need to get better on? Is there?
So for example, last year I trained like after the game I was like, oh my god, I want to go back, and I trained like intense, like a freaking crazy person. Okay, like I would go in my training and.
Well, you could be a little crazy, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, you have to be, I think.
Yeah?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
It's not a choice. If you want to perform good, you need to be...
It's good that she's aware of this
at
this age.
Yeah.
Are you aware of this? That she's aware of this at this age? Right?
This entire thing.
He's sitting behind
Take note. Write that stuff down, man.
Actually, he was just like this.
It's a big social experiment.
I'm not allowed to talk right now.
The games is a social experiment to see how much people can prioritize exercise in their lives over the things that, maybe count a little more.
Yeah. You think? That's great.
So what are you, I mean, is there something right now that we had talked about, the strength issue, that you thought that was an issue to address?
Yeah, I think strength, like, we don't, especially I guess for girls, because they don't want to be big or whatever, but you got to be strong, and it's not a choice anymore if you want to be, in those top athletes, because when there is weight, I got to do it. So that's tons of this year doing strength basically, and now going back on skills and all of that.
Yeah.
So you basically were a gymnast.
Yeah.
And do you So are you doing a lot of gymnastic movements right now? What's the
Yes,
application?
because you don't want to do only weakness that your strength go down and then you're just bad in everything, you know? So yeah, totally still, I kept doing my gymnastic, but this year I'm 100% like toward technique. Like technique come first, intensity second, and then, you know, when it's going to be game day, I'm just, you know, I think it's going to be natural to go technique, but then it's all about intensity.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what it's for. That's what
Yeah.
you're doing it for, though, so that you
Yeah.
can just go into the arena
yeah,
and just go
yeah,
and not have to think about that.
yeah.
Right? Because if you've introduced this stuff and you've been dosing yourself with it, it should have manifested in some way, shape, or form to allow your performance to go.
Yeah.
You really addressed, you said something about skill, and yesterday when we were with the athletes, we were going through run mechanics and drills and body position and so on, and you were having a tough time with the jump rope, right? You and I were having some fun with that.
That was fun. That
But
was
when
fun to
everybody,
watch.
but this was important. This was a great observation. I watched everybody when we broke for those drills, and you were the only one that stayed out there and continued to work on
Yeah.
that skill.
That's why I'm a freak. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're a freak.
Well, you teach me something, and like I'll take it very seriously, because like if it can help me, well, I'll go all the way on. And you know, I had to get that one so I can have my brain starting changing, and that way to, you know, run, which is what we did with you guys. So if I stay there, I miss it, and I run away, I'm never going to get better. So
Yeah.
you gotta fight for those weakness.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have your pull up and try one, run away, well, you're never going to get there. So
Yeah.
And Dave, what about you? I mean, you're strong. I mean, we witnessed that today, and I actually we did about a 4 or 5 mile trail run yesterday, and then today we went vertical up that brutal hill.
Another 4.
And you were hauling, 215 pounds up there and looking
And down.
and
He
looking
was
really
only
good.
behind
But
me by,
yeah, I mean, and so for you, I mean, again, I was impressed by what I saw out of your capacity the last couple of days. What are you addressing? Is there something particular for you that you're looking to address?
Yeah, the big categories, I did an assessment months ago. I think it was like in September. I did assessment with CJ, just a couple capacity tests, look at some things, and I already knew, and he already knew kind of where my weaknesses lied, or the areas you needed to kind of concentrate on. So we've been doing a lot of gymnastics training. We've been doing a lot of technique work with Olympic lifts, just working on being fast, and we've really ramped up the volume and intensity of training to the point where, Cam and I, and I think of a lot of games athletes, we're working out for like 3 hours a day, sometimes 4 hours a day. A lot of that time is spent on technique, but it's a different ball game now, and I think originally I was a little apprehensive about doing all that volume until I saw my capacity in things start to go up that I previously wasn't really good at, and my body composition started getting better. And it's like
Even though you're eating the ice cream every night.
Yeah, ice cream every night, clean as hell every day. But it's like the garbage.
That's called, you know what we call that?
Awesome.
Starette Paleo.
Starette Paleo.
Which has been reverted, which he's now, he's killed the ice cream.
That's the sequel to the 4 Hour Body.
Which is, I think he's actually down to about your weight. At
Yeah.
219, something like that.
81 snatches for that guy. We
Yeah.
saw that. We called him up immediately.
Yeah.
We were like,
Yeah.
you got to compete, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, back to what I was saying. Totally lost my train of thought there for a second.
Wow.
your body
Sorry about
change,
that.
all of that.
Yeah, like it's like the garbage man theory, really. Like if it sucks for a while, and then you adapt to it, and then you gotta change something else so that it sucks again, and then you adapt to it, and it's that endless cycle of accommodation.
Well, that's the body. The body doesn't want to change.
Yeah, I really
the body wants to just stay with the way it's at, but so you have to stress it to change it, and then.
When we started with CJ, it totally felt like I was starting CrossFit again.
Yeah.
And like,
which is what it should feel like.
I would like want to cry. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? And now that all of that now is normal, I'm moving on to more, and it's again like, wow, like you gotta be kidding me that you gave me those things, and you go in it, and then you gain confidence. Like those big weights are nothing anymore. Like those big scales, feel like walk in the park. So
I love the technique, the stuff that we do, and what I've kind of taken away as a coach this year, just doing all the skill work and working with people like Carl, is is looking at the workouts is you're not really looking at a clean, you're not looking at a burpee, you're looking at movement. It's the same movement, and the more efficient you can be at that movement, the more carryover there's going to be to all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have more capacity. But these positions that we're in are basically the same. So if we could work on those basic things, that's going to pay back in dividends.
Yeah.
And that's something we spend a lot of time working on.
Yeah. So we just did about a day and a half of training and just dosing you guys, and it went pretty well.
Yeah.
We were pretty impressed with what we saw. Yeah. It was. What do you guys think?
Awesome. Okay, let's start with your garage.
Yeah.
This place
Yeah.
is friggin' sweet. This is brotastic.
You could live here, couldn't you?
Check this out. Sons of Anarchy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We're going to start that CrossFit MC.
Yes.
I mean,
How do you get that in there?
this place is a playground. You got hills outside your door that are gnarly.
Yeah.
Vertical. About
great.
15 degrees out of these canyons.
I was just hanging out with a world-class triathlete, chowing down on some Mexican food.
Yeah.
It was a great weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had tons of fun. Learn a lot, huh?
Yeah.
People always
Laugh
say
a lot, too.
they go, "Where's your office?" And we just point out there.
It's out there.
Brotastic in here.
It's brotastic.
What's next for you guys? You're gonna fly home tonight, and then what?
Yeah, well, I got
Cool for me, yeah.
Yeah, Cammie's going back. She's got school.
Got tests, homework, and my trimester finished right before the regional, so cannot wait. That's really hard, seriously, with the open. Have all the tests, and we fly a lot
She's got a
too
full
out
plate.
and in.
Dude. Yeah.
So
I got to fly back east. I've got a couple more level 1 seminars. We're supposed to say seminar, not certification. That's
Yes,
a technicality.
we know.
If someone says
I'm very aware
certification,
of
you
that.
make them do 50 hand release
I'm
push-ups.
very aware of that. You
So-
should see Caitlin, who works behind the scenes, allows if anybody says it on an email, we're talking if somebody sends this shit we're talking an affiliate, she will correct them like that.
Like it's a company-wide
Yes.
notice thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm flying back for a couple more level 1 seminars. Then I just bought an apartment out in San Diego. I'll be out there full time, and then I'm just gonna be there coaching in Invictus, working on opening up the new gym, doing my training, preparing hard for the regional. And I just want to give a no bullshit. Let's see what I can really do. Now, I feel like my training is good. I feel obviously like made some gains in areas. So I just want to leave it on the field, so to speak. That's a baseball thing. Leave that shit on the field.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when are you gonna be down in what's the day so everybody can know to track you down?
So everybody can come down there.
Everybody can come down and
and
visit
take
you.
pictures with you.
When are you gonna be officially there at Invictus?
I'll be back first week in April. And I'm just going home to get my stuff and moving in first week in April, ready to rock. I've been out here for a while in March, just kind of trying to settle out like where we're living, doing some work with CJ, and I'm excited to just be like locked down, ready to rock, get Cammy out here, live happily ever after.
CrossFitters in love.
Well, I think this could kind of be the little first couple of CrossFit,
The first,
maybe.
well,
there's a lot.
I don't know,
there
Sherry,
Yeah, Sherry
Sherry.
and Matt Chan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
and Mary.
Yeah.
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 This is a volatile
Those
relationship.
were like the
Yes.
new one. We
We
met.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very volatile.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you. I'm really, really happy to have 2 days with you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have more of those. And any parting thoughts for you, sir?
Dave Castro rules.
Dave Castro does rule. Absolutely.
Quick, what do you guys think for open wide 12.4? 2 more to go. What's coming out of the hopper?
Couple. It's a couplet.
It's a couplet.
I bet
Deadlift or squat?
Deadlift
Deadlift or
pull-up
squat.
for me.
Are you thinking weightlifting, gymnastics couplet, maybe
Yes.
like a Diane?
Yeah.
Boom,
Definitely thinking of
skadoosh.
weight
We'll do it
weightlifting.
tonight.
There it is. You heard it here first. It's going to be coming out tonight. So, again,
5
for
p.m.
Dave Lipson,
Pacific.
Camille, LeBlanc, Bazinet, Brian Mackenzie, I'm Doug Katona. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to...
How do you say your last name?
LeBlanc Bazinet.
LeBlanc, Bazinet.
Croissant, biscuits.
Croissant.
Watch on Ustream and YouTube.
Croissant.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you later.
Stage freeze.
See ya. Boom.
Nailed it.